Hey vocalists! Today we are talking through the next letter of our SING acronym. These are vocalist expectations for the CLF Worship Team. Today we're talking about the letter I in the S.I.N.G series, I for incline your ear. Now this is really important. It has a lot to do with what you're hearing, and sometimes as a vocalist we think our most important tool is our mouth, and that is true to some degree, but our ears are just as important. And you've probably heard before the saying about you have one mouth and two ears, so you should listen twice as much as you allow things to come out of your mouth. And that is so true on this team also. I want to read to you from Psalm 49 verse 4. It says, I will incline my ear to a parable, and I will open my riddle upon the harp. This is the psalmist saying he'll incline his ear to listen to things, the parable, the story, to the riddle, to the things that aren't easily understood or just right in front of him. David, the worshiper, was saying, God, I'm going to press in and read between the lines by listening closely to what you're saying. This is an important skill for a vocalist. You should be looking and reading between the lines in your music, in the arrangement, on a Sunday morning when the Holy Spirit is moving and working. It's important that you are listening and inclining your ear to exactly what's happening in a various moment. All right, so one of the things that's really practical that you can do to incline your ear is to be listening to the band. I know that sounds silly, but a lot of times we won't cover a song exactly like the original arrangement does. We might dynamically change something and bring the volume down. The band might jazz it up and we go into some big band hits or something like that. A lot of times we're not sure when and where the vocalists will sing or how they'll build. And so one of the things you can remember is the more musicians that are playing, the more vocalists will be singing. That's a really good parallel to just practically know when you should or shouldn't sing. So if one instrument's playing, let's say a keyboard is leading through the intro of a song, there's probably going to be one voice that accompanies that one instrument, probably the lead voice. And as the instruments begin to grow into the song and we add an acoustic guitar and a bass and maybe a hi-hat, we'll probably add one part, like the alto part or a tenor line, to a melody line, and it adds really nice dynamic change and slowly builds the song. As the musicians begin to grow and the full team is in and the full team is built, we're gonna more than likely have full parts blended throughout that space. I want to talk to you next about your in-ear monitor mix. This is a big challenge for vocalists because we're used to blending based off of what we're hearing. And because we use in-ear monitors, everyone's mix is a little bit different. So it's easy to think, I should sing quieter here because you have your mic super loud in your own ears. Don't rely on that. It's critical that you understand how to mix well. It's critical that you understand how to blend well regardless of that mix. So if you need help with your mix, contact your leadership, get a hold of me, let's work through that. I've got some really practical tools you can use, some videos you can watch, even application steps that you can take to perfect your mix and get a really good sound in your ear. You're gonna need a pitched instrument. You're gonna need something to keep rhythm so that you're on the click track. A lot of times vocalists think they don't need the click track, and that is the furthest thing from the truth. Vocalists tend to be the first people out of time, and so getting and honing that in-ear monitor mix is critical for the unity of the team. The next thing is over and under singing. Just because you might be loud in your own in-ear mix doesn't mean that you're super loud out in the house. We have awesome audio engineers on our tech team, and it's their job to help mix. Every once in a while, you'll see me leave our rehearsal and walk out to listen to what the sound sounds like in the auditorium. And it's a really good practice because I'm able to hear how the audio engineers are mixing and give some feedback and dialogue with them about what we want our mix to sound like. That's not up to you. You need to make sure that you are giving really clear, amplified sound into your mic. You want to hold your mic just a couple fingers away from your face. So we don't want to touch our lips and we don't want to be out here. Otherwise, the sound just diminishes and falls away, and you're not going to get a quality sound input into the microphone. The audio engineer will adjust your sound and EQ your voice based off of your specific tone and timbre and pitch, but it's important that you are projecting really good sound directly into that microphone. Don't compromise your volume for the sake of blend. That's the audio engineer's job. The next thing is to make sure that you understand and incline your ear for lyric changes. We do this a lot in a Sunday service environment or during a service where maybe the Lord is breathing on something and we might be singing something like, "How I love you." And maybe we want to change it to "How we love you," or "How we honor you," or "Glory to the King," "Worthy to the King," "Love to the King." So a lot of times you'll hear whoever's leading the song give a vocal cue on how to change that lyric line. It's important that you're inclining your ear and listening closely in all of those moments so that you can match whatever the lead vocalist is doing for that song and help support in the best way. Lastly, I want to make sure that you're inclining your ear to the Holy Spirit. You need to learn how to listen to His voice. It needs to be a practice that you do every single day, all the time, not just on that platform. Because if you're waiting to the moment in the platform, I promise you there will be distractions. There'll be things you're thinking about. You need to practice listening to the Holy Spirit Monday through Saturday. You've got to be yielding to His voice in your everyday moments, and that will make for really easy discernment and know-how for when He's speaking to you on a Sunday morning during our live performances. I hope you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to see you next week.